can literally have it all and it's still not enough. I personally think money buys happiness, but I guess it can only take you so far. And that brings me to Demi Lovato. I wanted to talk about Demi Lovato's new documentary. I don't know what you want to call it. It's on YouTube. It's a YouTube original. They broke it up into 3 parts. And actually, only 2 parts are out right now, currently. The third part will be coming out on March 30th, 2021. So let's dive into this Demi Lovato thing, shall we? First of all, I think you guys need to understand my history with Demi Lovato. I have been a Demi Lovato fan from the beginning. Like, I was having this conversation with somebody. I was more of a Disney Channel kid. Sure, I watched Nickelodeon and I watched Cartoon Network, but I definitely was a Disney Channel kid. I was staying up every Friday night, 8, 7 Central. That Disney Channel literally taught me what Central Time was. I didn't even know that was a thing. I stayed up Friday night, 8, 7 Central to watch the latest Disney movies. I watched every Demi Lovato project. And around 2009 or 2008, early 2000s, I went to a free concert at Penn's Landing in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It was like a Radio Disney concert. Like, they had all these Radio Disney stars, and Demi Lovato was one of them. And basically, me, my mom, my brother, my cousins, we had to sit out in a thunderstorm and wait to see Demi Lovato. I'm surprised they didn't cancel the concert then. There were so many people there. It was like standing room only. It was crazy. And because this was outdoors. This was outdoors at like an amphitheater. And so finally I got to see Demi Lovato. That was my first concert ever, I think. And so that whole experience just made me a huge Demi Lovato fan. Flash forward, Demi Lovato is 28 now. And things have been hard for her. We all know that Demi suffered from an eating disorder. And let's just be clear. Demi Lovato is not fat. Demi Lovato is a little thick because she's Hispanic. She's Latina. Like, she has felt so much pressure, and she talked about it in the docuseries, because she did pageants as a kid and she was on Barney and Friends and all those things. She felt pressure to look a certain way like women on TV. Her mother had an eating disorder. Her mother was addicted to Xanax. Her father was an alcoholic. All of these things, her father was a bipolar schizophrenic alcoholic. All of these things, all these past traumas have just weighed on this girl. And like, we really didn't know how bad, or at least I didn't know how bad it was until I watched this documentary. Here's some highlights from this documentary. Number one, they said that while she was touring and everything, she had all these people around her. If she couldn't eat, you couldn't eat. She ran a tight ship around there. I don't know who it was. She said she had I don't know if it was actually her, or she had a dietitian, a nutritionist, a trainer, everybody on the tour, and you couldn't eat junk food around Demi. She couldn't even smell it or see it. Like, they said it was miserable. They said they were miserable and she was miserable. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, just like the Justin Bieber song, if somebody looks miserable, maybe they're not saying it to you, but if they're coming out with songs and you can see on their face how miserable they are, why don't you do something? Why didn't anybody just stop and say, like, hey, let's not do this? I don't know. But anyways, so this happened around 2018. Demi had been sober for 6 years. And then the summer of 2018 is when she relapsed and she had a terrible overdose. She could have lost her life. I didn't realize that this girl really came close to death. She practically was dead. So they said that this whole... And first of all, I didn't even know what kind of drugs this girl was taking. I didn't realize she tried meth, heroin, and crack cocaine. Demi was on crack. I didn't know she was on crack. That's wild. So they said that it was a regular night. It was one of their friends' birthdays. They went to the bar. They were having fun. And the girl was like, all right, I'm going to go home. And Demi was like, no, stay. And she's like, no, I'll see you in the morning. And she had a gut feeling. She was like, I should have stayed. Listen to your gut. Just listen to your gut. Your gut is always right. Your gut is basically God talking to you. And the next morning, her assistant, and I just want to say this. Her assistant was a black girl. And I feel like the black girl, she was more of an assistant than a friend. She really wasn't a friend per se. Or at least they didn't perceive her that way she wasn't perceived that way in the documentary. The black girl is the one that found Demi. The black girl's the one who called 911. Everybody else was hesitant to call 911 because they didn't want the paparazzi and the public to know, and they didn't want to make a big deal out of it. The black girl is the one who said, I was scared of, the repercussions, but I called 911. Why would there be repercussions for saving this girl's life? I don't know. They had a weird camp going on. But the black girl saved Demi's life by calling 911, and I feel like she didn't get enough credit for that. But anyways, they said that when she overdosed, she had 30 strokes, a heart attack, pneumonia, and she still can't drive to this day because of brain damage that gave her blind spots. She said sometimes when she's pouring a glass of water, she'll miss the cup because she has blind spots. That's what drugs will do to you. And so, what's the message here? Demi Lovato has since, sought help, got help, is getting clean, is doing well, but it's just eye-opening because everybody in the docuseries basically said, like, she's really good at hiding it. We had no idea. You never know what people are doing behind the scenes. You might think somebody is a sweet baby angel and they're not doing anything. This girl was doing crack. And some people said, like, how do you go from, like, smoking a joint to smoking crack? And she was like, it's not that hard. Like, I had a dealer on standby. And another thing, her dealer that day came over, gave her the drugs, got her high, and also raped her. This girl has been through hell and back so many times. Because I remember back in the early 2000s when she had eating disorders and stuff. And this has been going on for like 10 years. I'm so glad this girl is getting help. I'm so glad that she is really telling her own story because I feel like she's never been this raw. She's never been this real. And she's finally owning her truth. And we need to hear the truth.